Hey, what's up, guys? Cowboy Crunk. I got the game going on in the living room, but with situations the way they are currently, I'm almost, excuse me, I'm almost scared to even show a television screen with SpongeBob SquarePants on it. So just wanted to jump in real quick. I'm going to jump over to my live stream channel and get the live stream going. Uh, Lots of crazy news in the last couple days. As you guys know, man, we're pulling for Mark Holmes to get his channel back. Not sure if you guys are aware, but I do need to adjust the camera real quick. I don't know why. When I started the camera, for some reason, it adjusted to the left there. And let me adjust the camera before we get rolling here, guys. My wife was in here helping me out. I think that's good. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now we're more centered. All right, sorry guys. But anyways, as you guys know, the I'm just getting my YouTube page started, so I'm on the low end of this. I hope I don't have any issues or concerns with YouTube. What's up, Buddy Johnson? How you doing, Scott Vega? I'm trying to watch the game, but I'm like I said, I'm scared to even show a SpongeBob video or whatever on this. They're really getting crazy. I'm not sure where this is coming from. I talked to Mark today. Mark is extremely upset. He misses all of you guys. I know if you're on my page, I can guarantee you guys are part of. Yeah, thanks, Karen. I'm aware of that too. I talked to him today. I also talked to Mike, his son. I really talk to him almost every day on Skype or Instagram or some form of communication. He will get some social media going again. I'm even if you guys watch Mark really close, he was getting some trouble for having a Houston Texans coffee cup in his car a couple days that he had lost one of his Cowboy coffee cups. So this cup is in support of Mark Holmes. I have this. My neighbor left it here. I do live in Houston. I have Houston fans come over and hey, but it's a J.J. Watt Houston Cup, so I gotta support J.J. Watt. As you guys know, he's an outstanding guy. He really works the community here and so forth. So big shout out to Mark Holmes. If his channel is down, I don't know. I almost have a feeling like I lost a close friend or something. I know we'll see him. I know things will turn around. So yeah, he really. I know he's getting thousands of messages. Me and him connected at the draft. We had a great time. He changed football for me. I want to tell you guys, the internet has changed football for me. But finding Mark Holmes is what. It really sounds weird. I'm a big time Cowboy fan, but in 1990 I left for Germany. From Germany I went to Italy. From Italy I went to Greece. From Greece I went to Turkey. I came back to the States for a few years. So this was back in the 90s. You can't keep up with football when you're traveling like that. It was a pain in the ass, you know. I felt horrible saying, "Oh yeah, I like the Cowboys," and it would be 6 games into the season and I hadn't even seen a play or knew anything. But this is back before internet. You younger cats, you might not realize that, but that's what was going on. And a year and a half ago, I said, man, if I start getting into the internet, I can kind of follow this stuff. And I started following Mark Holmes. He was the first one. And then I started following Law and Vach. And we went to the draft and we had an amazing time. Shout out to anyone that was there at the draft to hang out with us. We had a blast. I mean, really, we had a very very good time at the draft, and I, that really changed football for me. I like to watch college football, but I'm not too much of a. There's not a team that I like. I really enjoy watching football, basically because college as far I like watching college because I like to see the players transitioning from college to the NFL. So the fact that Vach showed me a lot as far as man his knowledge on college players and those things is really amazing. So now this year I'm going to be watching a lot of college football, just watching college players. I don't have a specific team I like. I do pull for all the Texas teams, so whoever stands out in Texas, if Texas is good or TCU or Texas A&M, I kind of pull for those guys because of course some of those guys are going to be going into the NFL. So that's how I follow college. But really, going to the draft changed football for me this year. Being military with a military background for 27 years now, I've been working for or with or in the military. I transitioned out of the military after 14 years, and now I'm just following my Cowboys. I'm sorry, guys. I'm doing all this for Mark Holmes. I'm trying to tell you guys how this internet situation is really crazy. It allows our soldiers to keep up with football, to include me. I'm not a soldier anymore, but this internet stuff and conversation we're doing allows us to talk to Cowboy fans. Like, for example, where I work there by myself. I'm a vice president for a fuel company in Afghanistan. And the fact that I can talk to you guys and have a channel now, which I just started about 2 months ago, and interact with other Cowboy fans, I wouldn't have that unless I lived in Dallas. I mean, even here in Houston, it's very rare. We have the Dallas Cowboy Fan Club of Houston, which I do represent as well. But uh, those meetings are few and far between. Every day I can jump on here and talk to Cowboy fans, and we have our trolls and the guys that'll jump in and those guys are fun to even talk to as well. You can't always be everyone agreeing. So that's all I wanted to say on that, and I hope Mark gets his channel going again. I know he was denied, but possibility. There's always a possibility that can get turned around. Um, he helped me through some dark times during my illness. His videos gave me, Karen, really, I understand. Not because I understand, because I've been through the situation, but Mark's an outstanding guy, man, and I've been around him. I had someone jump on my page today when I was doing a video and say something about, Mark is taking money and Mark's not following through with something. Blah. Man, everyone jumped on that dude. I can't recall who it was, but that's completely bogus, and that guy's been misinformed. Mark does a lot of things. I can guarantee you, if he gets $1 off of his Patreon or those super chats, he probably spends $5 in return on those things. And yeah, he has a nice man cave, and he's bought those things as well. And I can guarantee you he did not use money off the Patreon or whatever those things. I don't know what those things are. Mark's a legit guy. He spent so much damn money at the draft. I mean, that was expensive. What we went through, what we did, the money we spent, that has nothing to do with why his page is down. I can assure you. And for someone to say that is completely that person is completely out of the loop and has no clue who Mark is or what Mark does. So I just wanted to say, I hope he gets his page going, and I don't mean to talk on this so long, but talking to Mike today, that guy he's really upset about this. I mean, he feels like, we feel like we lost a family member. He feels like he lost a whole family. That's where the situation is. And I have no clue what YouTube is for. If it's not for people like Mark, if YouTube is not made for people like Mark to talk about the things he's interested in and throw a little football in there and throw a little Dallas Cowboys in there, if YouTube is not built for people and channels like Mark Holmes, I have no clue what YouTube is made for. So Sorry guys, it's tough to not get on here and not talk about that. As well as it's tough to not get on here, and I do want to say, as we all know, best of luck to Travis Frederick. We're wishing him the best daily, every minute. We're pulling for that guy, and not just because he's a Cowboy, because he's an outstanding husband, father, and all those things. So yeah, as you guys know, free Mark. There's a hashtag. I will put that out again. I put it out a few times. Let me put it. It's hashtag YouTube uh, free. It's hashtag YouTube free Joe Boo. Like that. Is that right? I'm pretty sure that's right. You guys will know. So if that's not the right hashtag, somebody correct me real quick. But I'm very sure that's pretty much the right hashtag. But anyways, I wanted to get in there and watch the Oakland game. I'd prefer to be here with you guys, and do a little video representing Mark Holmes for about, what, 7 minutes now. Now I'd like to move on to the situation with Travis Frederick. We wish him the best. We hope everything will go fine for him and his family. As well, he's an outstanding person, outstanding husband and father. We hope he can get that back to that as soon as possible, and then we can, move on to getting him ready for football. But his family comes first, and very luckily he caught it early. This was difficult to diagnose before, and the reason was the testing for it wasn't as precise. But him being an athlete, him being stressing his body out daily, he saw the symptoms immediately, and they are starting to look for this. And the internet, again, the internet is one of those things that really is helping medicine at this point. The internet's really helping medicine move along and evaluate these situations. All of our Laura, yeah, I've heard also. I had no clue. I watch Law a little bit, but I've also heard that Law's channel is down and he won't be able to stream for a while. I found that out from watching Vox Lombardi earlier. So that's why I don't even have the sound on for the game. I've got the game off right now. There you go. Yeah, hashtag YouTube free Joe Boo. I think I got that right. Hashtag YouTube free Joe Boo. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, thank you, honey. Oh, my wife. Hey, that's the first time my wife posted on there for me. Hey, honey, how are you? She's in the bedroom. She's about to do her 3 hour hair thing that she has to do about every few days. So, anyways, thanks, honey. And we. With the Travis Frederick thing, we hope he can get back to football. That is important to us as a Cowboy family. But as you guys know, he's a strong guy. But the position he plays, he needs to be back 100%. He can't come back at 95% and take the chance of a relapse or whatever. So we're hoping that happens. Anybody got comments concerning the play of Rico Gathers tomorrow night? I am expecting him to play a lot. Yeah, that's what I heard. Thanks, JDB, JD Burton. Law 2.0 is running up and running. I think that's what Mark Holmes may do. I know he started a web page. I know his son, Michael Anthony, had over 500 subscribers join his channel in the last 24 hours. I've had about 100, and I followed Joe Boo. I miss him immensely. So as you guys know, every once in a while I wear the Joe Boo t-shirt that I got at the draft from him. And we'll be at the draft in Nashville. You guys prepare for that. That's going to be a good time. Hopefully we'll be taking a new Super Bowl trophy. I'll be ordering another Super Bowl trophy hopefully after this year. I have ordered the other four. The other four Super Bowl trophies are supposed to be on the way, but there's a hold on that because there's a copyright issue. So not only is YouTube affecting, I guess they're affecting the place I order my trophies, because it was a little expensive, but hey, if I can get all 5 trophies, and me and Jerry Jones are the only ones that have all five of these suckers. And then I'll be happy to order the sixth one. I'll have no problem. But Tyron Smith has a sore hamstring. Collins has a calf contusion. Only healthy player is Williams and backup center Joe Looney. Wow, guys. Omar, that's something I wasn't aware of. I had family here today. Um, that I'm sure if you're putting that on here, it's from a valid source. So I haven't checked on anything in the last 6 hours. I know they had practice today. I know Rico Gathers did very well. Did If you guys saw the catch that Rico Gathers made in practice, actually it wasn't very difficult for him. It was a rather simple play. Um, yeah, supposedly Dak and Zeke are sitting out as well. Um, I'm hoping that they get a little play time, but with the added injuries on the O line, it's probably less likely now. With the line the way it was gonna be, with Tyron Smith, Connors, Williams, or excuse me, Joe Looney, and who would have been at not Travis Frederick. Um, I'm kind of lost right now. That's got me thrown off. I'm really upset about that. Tyron Smith has. I'm reading that one more time. Tyron Smith has a sore hamstring. Collins has a calf contusion. See, I said Collins. That's what threw me off. So the only one that's healthy. Whoa. Well, that's tough, guys. We'll see. It is a preseason game. Hopefully, we can get everybody. I know they've had a tough time at practice lately. If you guys saw the practice fight, not it wasn't a practice fight. It was a fight at practice. If you guys saw that, it was pretty rough. Um, Tyrone Crawford was going at it with one of the younger backup defensive tackles, and they kind of went at it for a few minutes or a few seconds. Then they kind of got a little more overly aggressive, and then Demarcus Lawrence jumped in and threw a haymaker and a big brawl. So it is pretty intense at Cowboy practice right now, and with Travis Frederick being gone, that's kind of horrible. So if guys are falling off like this, we may be in trouble for the first few games of the season. How bad is the line? How bad our starting line is outstanding, as you guys know, but it looks like we've got some injuries on the line, so we'll have to see where that goes. Um, as far as the Earl Thomas thing, there was no news updates today. Uh, some people may think that the effect of the line might have a negative impact on the Earl Thomas trade. I think it has even a more positive impact for us on the Earl Thomas trade. And the reason is the weaker our offense gets, the stronger we need to make our defense. And if we cannot replace these linemen, the best thing we can do is secure our house with a much better defense. If we can't go offensive, if we can't get these linemen replaced, if we're replacing these linemen with backups upon backups, the only thing we can do is go out and solidify that safety position. And the reason I say that is we're going to pick up linemen. If we have to go out and grab guys, if we have to trade, if we have to pull guys off other practice squads or wait till guys are cut, and the cuts start after this third game. So we will have a lot of players hitting the market next week. So when these players start hitting the market next week, we're going to have players to pick from. The thing is, the players we're going to have to pick from are players that other teams necessarily didn't want. The other teams are cutting. So what you need to do is the players that you have out there that are asking for money, and the players that are out there that a lot of teams want, you need to snatch them up quick because they'll be gone. So players like Earl Thomas, players like Khalil Mack, players like Donald, that are still on the market, if you're weak at offensive line and there's no there's no top tier offensive lineman out there, you better do something on your defense, or you better do something at receiver, or you better do something at tight end to increase your team's ability to play. If you're weak at offensive line, that means you have to be stronger at another position. If you're uh, if you're weak on offense, period, you need to have an amazing defense. So that it's the same. It's like a business type thing. You might have the most bogus corners in all of the NFL, but if you got really great safeties and great linebackers and great defensive line, you can get away with sliding on safety. You can't have all stars and Pro Bowlers at every position. It's just not possible. You got to pick and select your Pro Bowlers when and where you can, and then you got to build a team around those guys. That's just how it works. That's why there's a cap. That's why it's different than the damn NBA. Let's see. I hope Looney and Williams stay healthy, because if they're playing a lot these next two preseason games because of the injuries, yeah, and that could affect the all-around capabilities of our offense. And if it affects the capabilities of our offense, we need a stronger defense, and that means you may need to go out there and grab a couple of elite players that are on the market. And that's exactly what the Patriots would do. The Patriots, they're contemplating on Dez. They are trying. I think they're trying to decide if Dez Bryant's attitude would work out properly with the Cowboys. And if that works, as you guys know, they had Chad Johnson before. Ocho Cinco was there. He played well. He had good numbers. He didn't stay long, but they used him for a short period to get through a tough time. They did the same thing with Terrell Owens. Um, you can use players for a short period of time to get you through a situation, and you sign them to a short-term contract. I like both Scarboroughs, our third running back. How you doing, D. Will? Just go through and DJ Burton or JD Burton, Omar Luna, Dinko 28, D. Will, Vinny Pirro. Is that right? Am I saying that right, Vinny? Vinny Perro? Pirro? No, it's not Perro. I'm sorry, brother. Pirro? I'm gonna get corrected here in a second. My wife's gonna send a message, or she's gonna come in here and slap me for saying it wrong. Just joking, guys. But anyways, I said it right. Thanks, brother. Pirro. Italian. You're living in America, brother, or are you living overseas abroad? I spent also 2 years in Italy, along with Greece and Turkey and Germany, and 14 years in Afghanistan. Now I'm on my 14th year in Afghanistan, bro. Come on. Hey, what's up, Grady? Hadn't seen you in a few days. Okay, you're in America, just Italian name, Italian descent. Yeah, I lived in Pianca Valley, which was close. It's kind of close to Milano, or Milan, they call it. In Italy, they called it Milano. I was about an hour and a half from Milan, Italy. But anyways, guys, back to the cowboy information. Yeah, hopefully that'll work out. We still got to work the Earl Thomas thing. I think they're going to start looking for linemen to try to, and that'll probably slightly distract our management for a while. They're going to have to replace these linemen that are down, but eventually they're gonna look and say, hey, where can we make our team stronger? And as you guys know, we can make our team stronger right now at offensive line, defensive tackle, and safety. Those are the three positions we're looking at. And if we can do it this year, if we can somehow do it this year, we've got a solid team top to bottom. And that's what we need. We're going to lose some guys. We're going to have injuries. That's part of football. But if we can minimize that, we've got a shot. We've got a shot at a Super Bowl this year. So, oh, cool. Hey, man, we'll hope you guys have a safe season. The Giants, my brother-in-law lives down the street. He lives 6 houses from me. My sister lives down the street. That's why I bought this house. He's a Giants fan. Every Christmas I buy him some Giants memorabilia for his garage. He's got his man cave out there. So hey, thank you, brother. I spent some money on the microphone. Got the double. I My wife's getting me on this thing. She's a big Instagrammer. I think that's what she does. Instagram. She gets free makeup and all this crazy stuff and free watches and free. They don't pay her anything yet, but she's getting a hell of a lot of free junk off of that. So she's the one that set all this up for me, helped me order it and get it rolling because a couple of you guys had mentioned that the sound quality wasn't good. And if you guys are just joining in, I've got the Texas Cup here. I know you guys can see that. That's J.J. Watt. A neighbor left it here, and this is a tribute to Mark Holmes, because as you guys know, he had one of these for a couple days, a cup similar to this, you guys dogged him out, or somebody did, but this is a tribute to Mark Holmes, and hopefully he'll get his channel going. I know he was denied, but hopefully we'll get it going again. Does she edit the videos for you? I want to do a Giants channel. We don't have guys like you. No, she does her stuff. She's learning how to do the editing. She does Instagram, so she doesn't do a lot of videos. I've told her to start doing the videos, but she says she's shy. I have no clue why she's shy. We went to a Cowboys game, sat in the front. We sat closest to the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders than anyone. We were right there. The Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders were all right there, and we had 20 people tell us, "Hey man, your wife is hotter than all those cheerleaders." She's a very beautiful lady. She's amazing, and the sweetest, most. When I'm in Afghanistan, our Skype is open 24 hours a day. We never lose contact of each other. The only time we close the Skype is when she goes to the gym and I go to the gym, and it's the same time. I go in the evening, she goes in the morning, which it's the same time here. So, but no, Vinny, if you guys don't have a channel, actually, I'll get a hold of Mark Holmes, and we had a guy that went with us at the draft, and it was kind of a joke. They had already, he rode with them. His name, and I can't recall, but they called him the stinking Giants fan, and it was because there was turmoil. And you guys, that if you've been watching Mark for very long, you guys during the draft probably remember, and I haven't heard him speak about the Giants fan here in a while. So I'll find out what's going on with him. Yeah, he was a really good guy, dude. He helped us, the stinking Giants fan helped us with the internet. He helped us with the TVs. He did a lot of cooking. He was just really a good guy. We had really had a good time together, and he had a lot of really good information about the Cowboys, a lot of good information about the Giants, and that's what we're all here to do. We challenge each other. We're all grown-ups. We have a good time. We watch football, but you guys, I might lose some guys for saying this, but I pulled for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I mean, you got to. They're in our division, guys. We have the toughest division in football. The problem is we beat the hell out of each other. We beat the hell out of each other, and then when the season comes to, we can't win a playoff game normally because we're injury ridden. We're full of injuries, and to see that's what the Patriots have had an advantage. So recently. Their division is so weak. They get to the playoffs and they're really healthy. I will say Philadelphia did make it to the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl, and they did have a lot of injuries to overcome, and they surpassed that. So, I'm not an Eagles fan. I'm not a Giants fan. I am 100% Cowboys. But if the Cowboys are out and there's a team on the table and it's an NFC East team, I'm going to pull for that team before I pull for another team. Yes, sir. Go Cowboys. And if the Cowboys are out, I pull for the NFC East because it shows we're a powerhouse. The NFC East has more Super Bowls than any other division. And hopefully, with our team being young, if you guys look at it, the teams that have 5 Super Bowls, I think New England is on the decline. I think Pittsburgh is on the decline. They have 6. San Francisco, I think they're on the rise, but I think we'll get Super Bowls before they will. And we have the potential in the next 4 or 5 years, if we can keep Zeke and Dak healthy and keep these line, or actually not keep the line. We got to get our line healthy now. If we can get the line healthy, we'll be okay. I think we have a very good possibility of getting a couple rings or 3 rings as we did in the 80s. I think we have the possibility of capturing some rings again and bringing this, uh, putting ourselves at 7 or 8 rings even and be, where we should be. And then no one can say anything about us not winning a Super Bowl for 21 years. And if anyone hears that from anyone out there, if you guys get that, if you look back over the last 21 years, the Cowboys have not won a Super Bowl in 21 years. We agree. We know there's 32 teams in the league. 32 teams in the league. We haven't won a Super Bowl in 21 years. So on average, you should win a Super Bowl every 32 years. We haven't won one in 21. But in the last 21 years, only 13 teams have won a Super Bowl, to include Philly this year. I made a video earlier today, I said 12, but I forgot to add Philly in there. 13 teams have won a Super Bowl in the last 21 years. The other teams have been repeats. So New England's repeated. There's been a couple. Pittsburgh is repeated. Denver has repeated. So there's been teams that have won Super Bowl since we have, but there's only been 13. So there's 19 other teams out there that also have not won a Super Bowl in 21 years. And there's some teams that haven't won one in a hell of a lot longer than that. So when people ride us for not winning a Super Bowl in 21 years, to me it's ridiculous. I hope everyone saw the Rico Gathers video earlier today. The guy wanted to let me go over some stats that I actually put out earlier today. Let me check on something real quick. Let me switch over to another page, and I want to read some stats to you guys. I want to read some tight end stats that will really blow you guys away. Now I know it's a short sample of stats because preseason just started, but some of the stats are long term. The stats on Swain are long term, and I will agree he hasn't had a lot of snaps. He hasn't had a lot of snaps because Jason Witten was there, and it was tough to get a tight end on the field when Jason Witten was there. And you guys know we go to 2 tight end sets and stuff like that. When we went to 2 tight end sets, they would always put Witten on the outside and Swain on the inside, or Witten on the outside, Hannah on the inside. So they always used Witten as the receiving tight end and the other tight end as the blocking tight end. It is Friday night, guys, so sorry. Hold on one second. Dallas Cowboys 2018 stats. We can go over the stats here. I was on this page earlier today. Where we at? Was it this one? Let me check this out. I got a comment just a second ago from somebody. Where we at? Dinko, I think the Patriots are done. If not this year, but soon. Brady is old, and they get rid of their. Yeah, we'll see. Jimmy G, I think it wasn't a smart move, but the only other move was to probably push, to push Brady out, and I think that's probably against the law to try to push Brady out. It's just odd because you guys know Tom Brady's. He's the one that won them those Super Bowls. Actually, his wife had a big part in that. And if you guys don't know how that situation came down, Tom Brady's wife makes about 5 times what he does. She posts something on Instagram, and she makes twice as much as he does in a day just by posting a picture on Instagram. So her salary allowed him to take lower level contracts and not be paid like the elite quarterback. He's nowhere near paid the number one quarterback in the league, and he can afford to do that because of his wife's salary. They have no need for money whatsoever. Her salary's completely stupid. So that's helped their team out as far as depth. When you can save 5 million, 5 or 6, $7 million on a elite quarterback position, you can take that money and spread it out over 3 or 4 positions and upgrade your safety, upgrade your cornerbacks, upgrade your offensive linemen. And they have spent a lot of money on their offensive line, and he continues to buy his offensive linemen and other guys on the team gifts all the time. So this year, Omar Luna, what's up? Here we go. This year in the preseason, so far, the Philadelphia starters, yeah, Philadelphia looks like garbage. Um, it would be nice to, I mean, it would be really nice to see that stay that way. I know I said I was pulling for them in the Super Bowl, but I didn't pull for them at all until the Super Bowl. Once they got to the Super Bowl, actually in the NFC Championship game, I was pulling for them as well. Let's see, but if they fall apart, I would be completely happy. And part of that's just because they got their ring, they got their trophy, they flaunted it. We've heard all, everything, especially on Joe Boo's, Mark's page. We've heard them talk a lot of trash. So it would be really fun to take that trash and throw it right back at him. Yeah, Rico looked great today with that touchdown catch. Yeah, he looked. It's so crazy that I can tell you right now, probably the best catch we saw all preseason, OTAs and everything, was the catch at the end of the game with about 2 minutes left last week. That Rico Gathers, reached up over the defender, which was a complete interception, a horrible throw by Mike White on the run. He reached over, saved the ball, pulled it away. Of course, you guys know that to me was probably the best catch we saw all season. The second best catch we've seen all season to me was the Chidobe Awuzie interception. That was pretty sick as well. And after that, I think that one is relatively close to the Rico Gathers catch in practice. So we've seen some outstanding catches. Last year, the preseason games before he got injured, he had a really amazing catch in the front corner of the end zone, not the back corner, the front corner of the end zone from Cooper Rush for a touchdown. And the other touchdown he scored last year in preseason was not a bad catch. It wasn't an easy catch either. When he ran up the seam, running right towards from the tight end position, right up the middle of the field to the goalpost, and caught that long touchdown. And he actually right now, and that's what I was trying to pull up these stats. He's second in our team on stats. Did I find the page? No, this is the wrong page. No, this is the right page. Here we go, guys. This was even better. Let's see. No, this isn't it. Did I put 2018? Let me jump back real quick. But Rico Gathers has as far as the team goes, and as far as the team goes, and catches per attempt or yards per attempt, he's second on the team behind Michael Gallup. He only has 3 catches, but no one has more than 5. Darius Jackson actually has 5 catches and 5 rushing attempts, and Darius Jackson is also our leader in yards per attempt on rushing. We haven't seen Ezekiel Elliott yet at all. He's ghosted out on the season so far, so we'll see where that goes. But as you guys know, Ezekiel Elliott is going to tremendously help our run game. Here we go. Now I found it. I'll go over some stats with you guys real quick. Let me go back and forth. I just got a couple of chats in real quick. Want to see what everybody's holding down. Would they be dumb to let him? Yeah, they're not going to let. I can assure you 100%. There is no way Rico is getting cut from this team. Um, let me before I go back to the stats. Let me explain that real quick. Who sent that one in? Swaim Jordan. Yeah, they haven't looked good. None of those guys have yards per catch. The only one that does is Jarwin. Jarwin has done okay. I think he averages 8 yards per catch. So he's not doing great, but he's doing better than the other guys. Who was that asked that question? There was it would be dumb. Oh, Vinny. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Vinny is a Giants fan. You guys don't get on him too hard. He said the in Giants there in New York, the Big Apple, they don't have any channels like this that he's found. And I'm gonna reach out to Mark Holmes. Mark Holmes will know if there's a channel for you, Vinny. We don't want to lose you on our channel. Um, yeah, yeah, we know. I was talking to Mark Holmes earlier. I know he's permanently banned, but I can reach out for him, see if there's any Giant fan channels that he knows of. We don't want to lose you here, brother. We'll talk about the Giants if you want to talk about them. We just might not talk too good. We might not talk the same way you want to, but we're always open for discussion football, guys, especially guys within the conference. Um, hey, what's up, X Factor? How you doing, brother? Um, on the situation with Rico. As you guys know, I posted a video about a week and a half ago. One of the problems they're having with Rico, to the new guys on the channel, I've had a lot of guys added this week. One of the new things that was added to the situation was apparently, and I've looked all over Instagram for this. Apparently, Rico gathers. There's an Instagram page out there that is called Fire Jason Garrett. Uh, all one word, Fire Jason Garrett. You guys can probably know how to spell it, Jason Garrett, anyways, because we see his damn name every day if you're a Cowboys fan. But anyways, apparently he liked something on the channel, or liked a video, or liked a post or a joke, and somehow the Cowboys management or executive guys found out about it. Um, Hey, we do a little smack talk, Vinny, but not too much, really. We try to talk the truth, but we all talk with our heart as well. That's just the way it goes because we're fans. But apparently Rico Gathers liked a a page on Instagram called, or liked the joke on there, or something called Fire Jason Garrett. So that's why he's been in the doghouse. I think it has nothing to do with his ability, his potential. And let me explain to you guys something about Rico Gathers. When they're saying they don't want to use him because he can't block, it's not because in one-on-one drills he can't hold his own. He's a big guy. He's quick. He can move his feet. What he's having trouble doing is, if you can imagine lining up at tight end, you're lining up with 11 guys on offense. There's 11 defenders across from you. When you line up, you're in the huddle when the play is called. You go to the line of scrimmage. You set up to run your play. You have options on that play, especially if there's a blitz. If there's a blitz package coming, and you have to read that blitz as a tight end, and you have to pick up that defender and not run your route. Or on certain plays, if there's a blitz, you might have to chip that defensive lineman, or chip that linebacker or safety, whatever lines up in front of you. You might have to chip him and run a hot route because there's a blitz coming. Additionally, if there's no blitz coming, you might, depending on the run scheme, you might have to pick up a linebacker, or if the guards or tackles are pulling, it might be your job to pick up the safety and leave that linebacker for those guys. You have to read a lot as a linebacker, or excuse me, you have to read a lot as a tight end. And the play isn't just, okay, 43 Cowboy X Factor, Denko 28, Darren Price. Okay, that's the play. My job is to block the guy in front of me. No, that's not the way it is. You have to analyze that play in in the huddle and you have to go to the line. When you put your hand in the dirt, now you have to decide, okay, there's a linebacker in front of me, but now there's a blitz package. I don't pick up the linebacker. I need to pick up the blitz package and run on a pattern. There's a lot of different things that the tight end has to know. That's what they're saying he's not picking up. It's not that he's not tough. It's not that he can't fight. It's not that he can't block. It's that he's not understanding the blocking schemes. He's not able to evaluate the defense and change the play in his head the way he's supposed to. Now, recently Rico Gathers has shown he's learning that. He's learning that ability. The thing is, in time, he will learn that. He's shown the ability to catch the ball better than anyone on a damn team. He's shown the ability to go up and get the ball when nobody else can go get it. So give him time and he will learn that. They're not going to cut him and let him go to another team and learn that. They're going to keep him. Without a doubt, without question, Rico Gathers will not get cut. I can assure you. Now, are they interested in trading him? That's a different question. Because are they interested in spending the time and letting him learn those things? Or is there a team out there that's saying, hey, we don't need him to block. All we need him to do is catch passes. All we need him to do is this because we got our blocking tight ends. So that's where it is. I don't think we're going to trade him. I think we're going to keep him. I think the Cowboys see him as too much of an asset in the passing game, and we don't have an outstanding standout receiver. I think he is very, very, very important to this game, especially when Dak Prescott likes to keep the ball between the hashes as much as he can. If you guys notice, most of the interceptions that Dak has had have been outside the hashes, or they've been inside the hashes where receivers bobble the ball and the defense picks it up. He hasn't thrown like blatant, horrible passes right over the middle. He's very good at throwing the ball direct up the middle. Where he hurts is standing in the pocket and turning, moving his hips and throwing the ball outside the hashes and having the arm strength and the accuracy to throw a 10-yard pass that's actually 30 yards because of the angle. It's a completely different pass. 10 yards here is 10 yards. 10 yards here is 15 yards. 10 yards to the sideline is 30. It's a 30-yard pass, and with accuracy, that's where he's having trouble. And when those passes are picked off, they're taken back for touchdowns, and that's another problem we've had. AKA the Seattle game last year, which caused us to lose. Hey, yeah, try to look him up. Vinny, I think he started a channel. The Stinking New York Giant fan. He really was a good guy. We had fun. We had some arguments with him, which were really good arguments. We had arguments at breakfast there, but he was really cool guy. Let me go back in the chat room here. Omar Luna, Rico has a low football IQ because he's never played football. Yeah, he hasn't played football since 8th grade, guys. You guys all know that. But he was a beast at Baylor. I'm about 2 hours, I think, from Baylor, where I'm at now. We used to go up to Baylor and watch a game every once in a while. I never watched Rico play, but Baylor has had legendary type, college legendary type centers and power forwards come through there, and Rico Gathers broke a lot of the records in rebounding. He has good hands. He has strong hands. He's big. He's solid. He is 6'8", no doubt. I can tell you right now. He's actually 6'7.5". He's about 282 pounds now. He's bigger than any any tight end in the league right now. That dude is huge, and he will be dominant if the Cowboys can keep him on the field. As you guys know, I said before, we run the ball more than anybody in the league. We're gonna have holding penalties on first down. When we get a holding penalty on first down, and you guys can look at the stats I'm about to pull up. If we get a holding penalty on first down, what's going to end up happening? It's going to be 1st and 20, right? Because Zeke can carry the ball for 8 yards, 9 yards on first down, 6 yards, 7 yards. If there's a holding penalty, we go back 10 yards and it's 1st and 20. Now what are we looking at? If you look at the rest of our receivers, And the way our offense is set and the way our offense works, most of our receivers average 6 yards a carry or 6 yards an attempt. I'm sorry, most of our receivers average about 6 yards an attempt. Therefore, if we get 6, 6, and 6, which is 18, it's still going to be 4th and 2. How many times did we see that last year? How many times did we see our tight end, Jason Witten, run down the field, turn around, box out, catch the ball, get hit, fall down, and it was 4th and 1, 4th and 2? We saw it so much. It made me ill and it made me sick last year. We won't have that problem if we have a large tight end that can catch the ball and get yards after the catch. Right now, Rico Gathers is averaging almost 14 yards an attempt. He's averaged that as well as last year. And if you see that catch that he made last week, where he reached over the defender, took the ball away, turned and ran down the sideline, he got hit very solid in the thigh pad, which is where they're going to hit him. He did the same move he did in his first catch as a Cowboy. When they hit him in his thigh, he came up in the air, his body turned, he put his hand down, landed on his hand, popped back up, and started running down the sideline. He did that in his first catch as a Cowboy 2 years ago, and he did that this week. The problem was his foot went out of bounds. He would have caught that ball in front of the defender, taken it, and ran down the sidelines even further. He ran another 5 yards, but he would have had many more yards than that. Hey, yeah, Denko, I posted that on Vach's page earlier as well. I think Gallup is going to be our number one. I think Tavon is going to be up there with him. And I think with Terrence Williams there, I'm not a big Terrence Williams fan. I'm not a fan of his catching ability or his process of football sometimes. I know he knows the playbook, he does the right thing, but his thought to get out of bounds or try to extend the play, he does those things at the wrong time. The same thing as Jason Garrett does. He calls timeouts at the wrong time. Jason Garrett, to me, I like him as a coach, but that's because it's the off season. As soon as the season starts, I can assure you he'll piss me off enough times where I will be talking smack about Jason Garrett by game 3, I'm sure. But the problem is, in the second half, he doesn't make adjustments. He doesn't fix the problems from the first half. We're always winning not always, but we really do well in the first half compared to the second half. We're not a second half team, and I don't understand why he allows other teams to go in the locker room, make adjustments, and we come out. And I think it's because he has that mentality. He wants to stand there and clap his hands and say, all right, guys, good job, get your rest, and then come out, and that doesn't work, man. You've got to make adjustments in the second half. If you don't make the correct adjustments, you're going to have issues, and the team that makes the adjustments is going to win the game. Real quick, I want to jump in and say, hey guys, if you're not part of the channel, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get Mark Holmes' channel going back up. If you're here temporary, what I was told today is his channel's not coming back up. He told me that himself. Well, actually, he didn't. I apologize. Michael Anthony Fitness told me that. I talked to Michael Anthony a little bit. I got 1 or 2 messages back from Mark Holmes, and that was it. And he's really upset about this situation. So I know we got new people on here. I just wanted to say that real quick. So please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to get him on here for a YouTube or Skype. Skype. Bring him in via Skype and do a show. I'll let him run the show. I'll let him do all the talking. I just want to see the guy. I miss him already. It's only been a day, and I haven't seen him on YouTube other than he was on his son's channel a little bit. Our defensive depth has been weak, so our defense doesn't stop people in the second half. Yeah, that I agree. Darren, and this is my reason. This is my reasoning for the Earl Thomas thing again. I know we keep going back to Earl Thomas, but we have to have a more solid secondary. And we haven't talked of Vaccaro, who got signed. Ed Reed is still out there, as far as I know. Cromartie has been signed. Um, George Iago was only on the market for a little time. All of these guys that were out there and had the ability to help the Cowboys, because they were, all of those guys I just listed are better than the guys we have. Now they might have the ceiling of Xavier Woods. I think Xavier Woods has a really high ceiling, and I think Heath actually. Some people are not on the Heath bandwagon, but the dude is quick. The dude is fast. He can tackle, but he takes horrible angles. That's something Keith Richard can help him fix. If Keith Richard can help him fix that, Heath can be a good defender for us. He could be great. I just think he had horrible coaching. I don't think he's ever been coached properly. The dude, there's a video on YouTube, and I can't remember when I saw it. It's been a while back. The Cowboys, they were asking him who's the fastest guy on the team, and it was kind of like this open forum kind of joking thing. And dude, there's quite a few people listed. Quite a few people listed Heath. They said Heath is the fastest. And then somebody mentioned Tavon Austin. They said, oh, no, 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 hold on. Yeah, we forgot about Tavon Austin. Tavon Austin is the fastest guy on the team. But Heath is quick. He has the ability. He's not, he's quarterbacking our defense, so they trust him mentally. His problem is he takes bad angles. And he stays relatively healthy. He's out there for us. So Heath can be a good part of this, but we have to increase our position at safety. And for us to be thin, currently, the way I see it right now, we have Kayvon Frazier and Heath. And those guys, the thing is, our safeties are so important on special teams. If all of our safeties are playing special teams, they're going to get injured. They're changing the rules of football to keep guys from getting injured on special teams. So if they're trying to change the rules to keep guys from getting injured on special teams, and we've only got 3 safeties, and we have to have 2 all the time, that leaves us 1 backup to flip flop. And then the other guys we got are undrafted free agents that they're okay with, kind of, because they haven't made a move. But come on, guys, that's a position we cannot play with. And Earl Thomas would cover that whole. That's our center fielder. That's our quarterback for the defense playing center field. That's what that safety position is, and that's what he's there for. We have to cover that position with a good safety, at least. And I don't think at this point we have a good safety. I think we have mediocre safeties that have the potential to be good, but they don't have the potential to be great. And we have the possibility to get a great safety in here. So they've got to make this move. Here we go. Crunk, talk about our secret weapon, Chris Jones. He's on our underrated team. Chris Jones. You're going to have to. I don't have a lot of information on Chris Jones. He's. Let's see, hold on. Beasley, Gallup, Hearns, Austin, Lenore, and Williams. Yeah, those are our receivers. I'm sorry that let's see, it moved up too quick. Okay. Yeah, those guys are going to be our primary receivers. Austin. I'm proud of what Lenore's doing. Omar, I think Lenore's going to make the team, especially because of special teams. We're going to have guys that make the team just because of special teams. There's going to be some guys that are on the bubble, and you have to look at it that way. If you're on the bubble, and maybe you're a step ahead of me, you're a player ahead of me, but I play special teams and I return punts, or I can return kickoffs, or I can be on the punt team and go down and make tackles. And Lenore is one of those guys. He is he's probably our first or second best punt and kick returner. So you have to have a backup in that position. So those are the type things that might be inflexible. Being able to play more than one position might help us out. These safeties that we just recently signed that supposedly are for depth, well, the more safeties we keep, you guys know we're keeping those three already. We're going to keep Kayvon Frazier, we're going to keep Heath, and we're going to keep Woods. Those guys are a lock. So these guys we've added, that doesn't mean they're on the team. That doesn't mean they're not getting cut. And the reason I say that is, if you keep those two guys, you have to remove a tight end, or you have to move a quarterback, or you have to we have to go down to two quarterbacks, which I think we're going to do because we're too thin everywhere else. You can't be thin at safety, thin at defensive tackle, thin at offensive line. This offensive line thing that's going on, that probably got Mike White out of here. You only have 53 players you can keep. So if we need to pick up linemen and put Frazier, not Frazier, I apologize, put some of these linemen on injured reserve and bring them back, you can't keep Mike White and have him sit the bench as a third string quarterback when last year we never even used our second string quarterback until the Philly game. If you guys recall, the only time that Dak Prescott had a that only time Dak Prescott sat during the season was in the Washington game. He had an injury to his hand. The face mask was hit the back of his hand. The ball was pinned against his chest, and it gave him a bruise. They took him to the locker room. We punted the ball. Washington had the ball for about 3 or 4 minutes. They punted the ball back to us. That was the play where Ryan Switzer took it back for a touchdown, and then we kicked off to Washington again. They ran the clock out, and it was halftime, and Dak Prescott came back. So last year, Dak Prescott was actually injured for about 6 minutes during the game, but our offense never took the field. So Cooper Rush never got. I was actually looking forward for Cooper Rush having a chance to get on the field and see him play, but that didn't happen. Dante Thomas is a guy. He's going to make the squad. Yeah, I'm hoping Dante Thomas makes the squad for speed, but he hasn't got a lot of playing time so far. I think he had actually some injuries there for a while where I know he was sitting, and if I recall, I don't think he's been taken off of those injuries or not. Let's see, who was that? Chris Kellens. What's up, Chris Kellens? Hey, yeah, is Deontay Thomas off of the injured reserve right now, or is he supposed to play tomorrow night? I wasn't sure if he was or not. Buddy Johnson, what's up, buddy? How you doing, bro? Brother, if it's in Seattle, I'd trade Earl Thomas to a AFC team, then Dallas could get him. They're going to work something, man. I just, the way I feel is they didn't go after those other safeties that were on the market. They didn't even call, and they cannot. It's completely impossible. They're happy with their safety squad right now. We're too thin. We're not strong enough there. So the way I look at it is, I think the Cowboys think this Earl Thomas thing is over. It's done. They've got him. They just have to call and make the phone call. I'm just worried that they're going to wait too long and Seattle's going to shift him somewhere else. I don't keep up with basketball anymore. I used to really keep up with basketball, but the Kawhi Leonard thing, San Antonio did that. Kawhi Leonard was wanting to go to Los Angeles, wanting to go to Los Angeles, wanting to go to Los Angeles. All of a sudden, the Spurs knew he wanted to go to Los Angeles. So before he could finish his contract and go, they traded him. They had the rights to him. And that's the same thing right now. Seattle has the rights to Earl Thomas. If they want to trade him to Tampa Bay for nothing, they can, just to keep him away from us. If they want to trade him to any AFC team or any NFC team, whatever, they could trade him where they want to and get what they want. The thing is, once he is traded to that other team, they have to, take over his contract. Now they have to negotiate with him a salary, and if he doesn't agree to that same salary, let's say they trade him to Tampa Bay, for example. He goes to Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay says, okay, he's under $8.5 million a year contract. That's what we have to pay it. He can say, I'm not paying it. I'm not playing in Tampa Bay either. And he can take those fines, take those penalties. And Tampa Bay will lose whatever they traded for him. Thing is, he won't get paid, and he won't get paid until he starts playing. So that's the reason a lot of teams aren't hot on him. There's 18 teams that have the cap room to go out and get Earl Thomas, but he doesn't want to play there. He stated, "I want to be in Dallas. If Seattle kicks me to the curb, please come get me, because the only place I want to be is in Dallas or Seattle." But in Seattle, he wants to be the highest paid safety in the league. And that's what he's told him. I want to be, I don't think he wants that in Dallas. I think if he comes to Dallas, he would be happy with being in the top five, being in that 12 million, 11.5 million, and doing a 3-4 year contract. I think he would be completely okay with that, especially if the guaranteed money was there. That's what he's worried about. He's worried about the guaranteed money, because what happened to Cam Chancellor and what happened to Richard Sherman and these guys. He wants that guaranteed money, and that's what we need to offer him. Offer him 3 years, 36 million, 28 million or 24 million guaranteed. Eric Berry got 20 million guaranteed, or 19. He got 19 million guaranteed. So if we offer him more guaranteed money, but a shorter contract and even less per year, but more guaranteed, he would be completely happy playing in Dallas. He just wants to go. He wants to be in Dallas, guys. The guy used to leave practice like immediately, like almost not even take a shower, jump out of practice, change his clothes, and be running out of practice. And be like, "Dude, where you going?" And he would say, "It's Monday night. The Cowboys are playing. I'm going home to watch the Cowboys." Why would he say that in the locker room for 2 years? For 2 years, they knew every time he was jumping out the shower and running to put his socks and his drawers on that he was going home to watch the Cowboys. That's Earl Thomas. He wants to be with this and with these and with this. That's what he wants. He has his rings from Seattle. He has his Super Bowl trophy from there. He wants to do it at home. He wants to do it where you walk into the Star and you got a damn $25,000 locker and carpet and Jerry Jones and the players, and that's what he wants to be. Some people just jumped off. They probably weren't Cowboy fans. I got on a Cowboy rant. I apologize. But that's where he wants to be. And I don't know. I couldn't play in the NFL, because if they drafted me any damn where else, I would just tell him, "Hey, look, bro, I ain't playing. I'm sorry. I don't want to go there. I don't want to be there. I don't want to be. I want to have a star on my helmet. And if I don't have a star on my helmet, it's just I'm doing this for fun. You can pay me. You can pay me 5 million. Hell yeah, you can pay me 5, 8, 10, 12 million. But if I don't have a star on my helmet, I'm not gonna do it very long." Let me jump in here real quick. Yeah, Seattle's doing him dirty, Chris. I agree. New York is feeling crunk. Hell yeah, baby. Do it up. Omar Luna, what's up, brother? Yeah, but he's a year older. I tried to get him this year. Yeah, if he doesn't do anything this year, if he does hold out, we can get him next year with no trade, no anything. If I will explain, if you guys watch my channel, I've explained it a few times before. If he just holds out, or if he finishes up his contract and leaves, what Seattle gets is a compensatory pick. They get a compensatory pick though in 2020. They don't get a compensatory pick. A lot of people are saying, well, if he leaves Seattle, and this is what they say on the Seattle page, if you guys really want to see what's going on, go over to some of the Seattle news footage and the Seattle information, bro. Those dudes are ripping him up. The fans are mad. They're mad that he wants to leave. They feel disrespected. They love Earl Thomas. It's like you have a woman that you're dating and she just said, "You know what? I don't like you no more. I don't care about you, and I don't give a damn about you. I'm leaving." That's the way they're taking it, and they're not happy. And I can kind of understand that, but go over to and that's where I'm getting a lot of my information is from the Seattle side, because they're being really honest and they're discussing the things within the Seattle management, and these are the bloggers and the guys that are at the camps and the guys that are supporting that, they work for the Seattle Seahawks or they work for the Seattle Seahawks webpage. If you Google Earl Thomas Seattle Seahawks, you get a lot different stuff than you Google Earl Thomas Dallas Cowboys. You get Dallas Cowboy news. Go Google Earl Thomas Seattle Seahawks news and get the information from over there. You'll get much better, much more up to date, informative stuff. You'll get a feeling of their management is done with it. Most of their management is like, look, let's cut our ties, let the guy go wherever the hell he only wants to go to one place. If he goes somewhere else, he's going to ask. He's going to ask for the high. He wants to be the highest paid salary safety in the league, wherever he goes, except Dallas. If he comes to Dallas, I don't think we got to pay him like that. I know I said that a few minutes ago, but the water is poisoned in Seattle. Yes, sir, it sure is. When they handed that ball off, or when they were supposed to hand that ball off to Marshawn Lynch and let him score the game-winning touchdown, they decided not to do it. And Pete Carroll tried to be cute and throw the ball and get Russell the MVP, and that didn't work out. The defense was pissed. They were livid, and it's been turmoil since then. Marshawn Lynch left immediately. A couple of the defensive guys have left since then. They've treated the defense wrong, and everyone on the offensive side of the ball has been taken care of. Everybody on the defensive side of the ball in Seattle has not been taken care of, and it's right now Seattle's in turmoil with their offense and defense, and that's why they're trying to whitewash the whole thing. The situation with Earl Thomas is they're trying to get something for him, but like I said, I don't think I finished what I was saying before. If he walks away, they get a third-round compensatory pick in 2020. If we trade for him, they get that next year. They'll get a draft pick if we decide on a third or a second. And at this point, with the injuries we have at safety and offensive line, I think we need to bring a strong player in, whether it's on offense or defense, or we need to bring some strong players in where we have weaknesses. And we have a weakness at safety right now, and especially as far as depth. Hey, what's up, Herb? How you doing, brother? By the way, I'm new to your channel. I'm from just outside Knoxville. Hey, you're the second guy from Knoxville today, guy. Well, actually, the other guy's from Nashville. I apologize. I grew up in Tennessee as well. I lived in Memphis. I lived in Union City. I lived in a few places there in Tennessee. We will be coming to the draft, so keep in touch with the page. You guys come see. We will do the NFL Draft 2.0. Last year was the first year we did the draft. I was with Mark Holmes. We rode up together. He rode from all the way down from DC, and I had like a little short trip from Houston to Dallas, and he had the long commute. So this year at the draft, I'll be driving a long ways. We'll meet Mark Holmes there. We want all you guys that were there last time to come, and all you guys in Tennessee. I will tell you guys this: when we go to Tennessee, you're gonna eat some good down home cooking, bro. I want some biscuits and gravy. I want some fried green tomatoes. I want some fried okra. I want it all coming down in Tennessee because I know what goes on there, bro. You guys eat good. So we're gonna have, it might be a different type cookout. It might not be barbecue and wings and stuff like that. I know they have that in Tennessee, but we gotta get some Tennessee down home cooking when we're there, guys. Hold on just a second. I lost the channel there for a second. Oh, what's going on with this? Okay, there we go. The screen was blue for a minute. Okay, I hit something. But yeah, nice to see you, Herb. We'll be coming up for the draft in Nashville. Gonna have a good time. Pretty much all the LOB is gone. Anyway, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're washing the defense out. They had some trouble there. They're looking for linemen as well. That's one problem they have. They're looking for linemen. Seattle needs linemen, a backup quarterback, as far as for the roster. Now, as far as starters, they posted today. Seattle Seahawks posted today the only two starting spots they have not finalized are right guard and right cornerback. So they have one position on offense, which is the right guard, one position on defense, which is the right cornerback. The other position, they've got their starters. They're set. They're not still looking for a strong or free safety. They're saying they have their strong and free safety. So they're letting Earl Thomas know you've been replaced. But we're still not paying you. And in 2015, Cam Chancellor did the same thing. He held out. He held out all the way through minicamp. He held out all the way through OTAs, preseason. He missed the first 2 games of the season. I don't know if you guys know how this works. Preseason, OTAs, and minicamp, those fines that he's been assessed all the way up until now and the next 2 games, those fines are fined by Seattle. Seattle makes those fines. Now, they don't set the amount. It's according to his salary and according to his per game and all that. That's set. But Seattle has the ability, if he comes back tomorrow, they can, basically, if it's like a speeding ticket, they can tear the speeding ticket up and pay him what they owe him. That's not going to happen. The reason it's not going to happen is Cam Chancellor, as I just said, he did the same thing Earl Thomas is doing now. He did that 2 years ago in 2015. They didn't pay Cam Chancellor anything. He missed the first 2 games. Now, the first 2 regular season games Cam Chancellor missed, he got fined that by the NFL. The NFL does that. That has nothing to do with the Seattle Seahawks. You're being fined by the NFL once regular season starts because you're not on the field. And the NFL, once regular season starts, the NFL determines if you're not injured, you better be on the field or we're fining you. And they fine you per game. Earl Thomas's fine, if he misses the first regular season game, is $800 million. Relatively, it's in the, it's not, that's not 800 million and 1 cent or 800,000. I didn't say 800 million. God, good Lord, I don't make nowhere near 800 million. But anyways, his fine is 800,000 per game, and the NFL fines him that. If he misses, like I said, the preseason and all that, those are fines that the Seattle Seahawks can whitewash. If he shows up and comes in and decides to start playing tomorrow, they can take all that and wipe it away and pay him what they owe him. But they're not going to do that because they didn't do it with Cam Chancellor 2 years ago. They fined him 100% of everything. So Earl Thomas knows that. For him not to show up now and to not show up during regular season, he's standing his ground. Yeah, hey bro, you can come to the draft in Tennessee, Vinny. You can be a stinking Giants fan too. That he really was a good guy, man. We had a good time with us. He kind of reminded me of Blank Man. I don't know if you guys seen the movie Blank Man, but he kind of reminded me of Blank Man. But the dude could talk, man. He could talk a good game. He had us all rolling and laughing and talking about the Giants, talking about the Cowboys. So let me go on here. Herb, as you don't know, I'm new to your channel. Okay, to me, Seattle want to let Earl Thomas go to Dallas. They don't want to have to play him. Well, yeah, we played them the 3rd game of the season, which I suspect that's a game we should win. I'm going to try to recall right now. There's 5 games in the season that I'm concerned about. The 5 games I'm concerned in the season are. Let's see, the first one is Carolina, our first game, and I'm more concerned now than I was a month ago when I made that video. I'm concerned about Carolina. I'm concerned about, let's see, I can't recall right now. I did the video so long ago. I can pull that up real quick on my phone though. Let me go to my Cowboys, go to schedule. Here we go. I can do this really quick. Let's see. Our first game is against the Panthers. I am concerned about that game. That's one game I'm worried about, especially now with the injuries. And I'll explain. I'm gonna go over the whole schedule really, really fast. It'll only take about 30 seconds. I'm concerned about the game with the Panthers. That's one. I'm not concerned about New York. That's our second game. I'm not concerned with Seattle. At this point, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned with Detroit. I'm concerned about the Texans a little bit. That's our 4th or 5th game. Um, I'm concerned about the next game, the Jaguars, which is our third game I'm concerned with. I'm not concerned with the Redskins, the Titans. I'm concerned with the Eagles. That is the fourth game. Atlanta, I'm semi concerned. I don't think we'll have a problem with Atlanta. The Saints, I don't think they'll be as strong this year. The other game against the Eagles, and that is the 5 games. Those are the 5 games I really think we have a 50% chance or less than a 50% chance of winning. So if you take those 5 games and give us a 50% chance, that's 2.5. So we'll go with 3. Let's take those 5 games and give us a 3 game loss. That's 3 losses for the season. And that out of those 5 games, that gives us 11 more games that we should win. So we should win 11. I've got us losing 3 already. But out of those 11, the ones we should win, as you know, you're always going to lose a game or 2 that you don't expect to win. So I got us losing 3 out of the 5 really tough teams, and I got us losing a game and a half or 2 games out of the remaining games. So I think we're really looking at 11-5 season. I still hold true to that, even though I did that video a couple months ago. But I think there's 5 teams that are going to be tough, and we'll win half of those. That leaves the other 11 games, and we'll lose 1 or 2 of those that we shouldn't. You just sometimes you have a bad game. So I think that puts us at about 2.5. So 2.5 plus 1.5 is 4. I think we're going to lose 4 games, and I think we're going to end up 12-4 or 11-5. I really think 12-4, especially if we can get this Earl Thomas thing in. That's a game or 2 swing right there. As you guys know, we lost to the Packers. We lost a couple games last year. We lost the Packers in the playoffs. If we would have had Earl Thomas on that play, and I know that wasn't possible then, if we would have had Earl Thomas on the play where Aaron Rodgers scrambled around and threw the ball to the tight end as he was falling out of bounds, and then they kicked the field goal. If we would have had Earl Thomas, that play wouldn't have happened. It never would have happened. The most important play, it wasn't an important play. I showed this video. I know I'm talking a lot, guys, but my wife's in there. She's busy. It's Friday night. There's not a lot going on here in Houston, Texas, so we like to stay at home, and I'm having a good time. But if you guys remember, yeah, me too, Denko. I'm thinking 11-5, 12-4. If we have a really good season, we'll be back at 13-3. But we're in that window right there. 10-6. If we go 10-6, it's because of injuries, excessive injuries. I think we did well in the draft, and I think we've improved in the places. But Chris Kellens, I think 10-6, we will have to make the playoffs. Yeah, we have to make the playoffs. And once we make the playoffs, and that's the situation. Once we make the playoffs, man, those games are tough. The playoffs, you have to have a good kicker, which we have, because you'll lose a game in the playoffs so damn quick. When you're battling competitive teams that have the same ability as you do, and you miss a field goal in a game, or you miss 2 field goals, you're done. You're not going to win a game against a team that went 10-6 and you went 11-5. You're not going to beat a team and you miss 2 field goals, or you miss an opportunity. Those missed opportunities lose you games, and we've seen that before. Not through our kicking team, but we've seen that through our secondary. And every damn time, it seems like Jason Garrett doesn't work the clock correctly, and we score too quick and give the ball back, and then our secondary just gets beat down the field like a drum, and they kick a field goal or score a touchdown. The biggest play we got burned on last year. I want you guys in the comment box real quick. Hold on, I know some of you guys are talking. And real quick, do me one favor. If you remember the Kansas City game at halftime, when there was only, I think it was 8 seconds left. Just this last year, 8 seconds left at halftime. Kansas City, we had just scored. Kansas City, we kicked it into the end zone. Kansas City downed the ball. They got the ball on the 25. and Kansas City scored with 8 seconds left from the 25-yard line by throwing the ball over the middle to what's his name? Somebody's got to help me out on this. Hall. His last name is Hall. I can't remember his first name. Um, Scandrick. Yeah, Scandrick screwed that damn play up. If that's what you're talking about, Darren Price. But anyways, Kansas City Chiefs threw the ball to what's his name? Hill. I'm sorry. Terrence Hill. Was it Terrence Hill? Yeah, I think it's Terrence Hill. Or they threw that damn ball over the middle to Tyron Hill. Thank you, brother. We all there's so many names flipping around. They threw that ball to Tyron Hill, and he made our secondary and our defense look like garbage. 75 yards on a screenplay with 8 seconds left, and we can't tackle the damn dude. Scandrick dove at him. Oh, I was pissed. Oh my goodness, dude! I will never forget that play either. Thomas, hey Thomas Garrett, what's up, brother? Hey Thomas Garrett, hey, we got another guy in here from Knoxville. Were you on the page earlier when the guy from Knoxville commented? Let me go back up and see Knoxville, Tennessee. I hope he's still in here. You guys got to help us set the draft up. You guys got to find out because yeah, that was embarrassing, bro. Dude, Keith Richard would be livid. He would terminate every damn body. That was so damn embarrassing. Hey, it's Herb. Herb and Thomas. You guys, Thomas is from Nashville. Herb is from Knoxville. So don't make it those backwards. But hey guys, you guys need to make sure you're at the draft so we can hook up with you guys. My dad lives in Union City. I don't know if you guys know where that is. My stepdad lives in something called Lexington. He's not going to be able to make it. My stepfather lives in Tennessee as well. But we're going to go from Houston up there and check out the draft. But you guys need to be there. Garrett and Herb, Thomas and Herb, you guys need to make sure you're at the draft. Joe Boo will definitely be there. We had a blast, man. We had so much fun at the draft. So, anyways, back to that was the most embarrassing play probably of the season for any team. Millington. Oh, okay. I'm not sure where that is. I've been away from Tennessee for a while, but I know Tennessee's a beautiful area, and there's a lot of good cooking up there. Country ham. Oh, bro. If you guys can make it to the draft from wherever you're coming, we're gonna have some country ham, dog. We're gonna have country ham, gravy and biscuits in the morning. West Tennessee, yeah, that's kind of where I was in that area as well. I lived in Memphis for a while too. So, okay, hey, thanks, Vinny. Hey, Vinny's taking off, guys. Excellent Giants fan. Anytime I can pull for the Giants, I will. Only because they're in our division. If we go, Vinny, if we start going 2-14 like you guys did last year, I'm gonna pull for the Giants. I got to, bro. We got to pull for our division. So that's cool. We'll see you there, Garrett, at the. I'm probably pissing some. I'm really diehard Cowboys fan, guys, but I also support our stepbrothers and our stepsisters and those type people that from the Giants. If I know, man, I think I just pissed Darren Price off. But if the Cowboys are not in it, they're completely out of it. There's nothing they can do. I pull for our division, bro. I don't like Eli. Sorry, brother. I don't think he's that great. I think he got lucky winning as a core. I think that was y'all's defense, and you guys had a pretty good offensive line, and you guys ran the ball well. That's what got you guys those. And we can do the same thing. I really don't think Dak Prescott is like a super elite quarterback, but he's good enough to win us some Super Bowls. If we have this line we got this running game, he's a great quarterback. I think he's just as good as Eli, if not better than Eli. So he can win us some Super Bowls. But we're gonna have a good time at the draft. Glad to see you in here, Thomas. Glad to see you in here, Vinny. Glad to see you in here. Where was he at, man? See, I'm so bad with names now. Herb, appreciate you being in here, Herb. But that's where we stand on the Earl Thomas thing. To me, it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. We haven't jumped out. We haven't. Oh, hey, that's a good thing, man. Hey, I live in Houston. I just can't Houston. I can't vote. I can't pull for the Texans because I grew up in Tennessee. When I lived in Tennessee, we didn't have a football team. So I cheered for who was on television. The guy that was on television, or the team that was on television, was the Cowboys. Hey, like I said earlier, if you guys are here looking for Mark Holmes, his channel has been shut down. I'm a big Mark Holmes fan, just like all of us are. But please subscribe and join the channel. I'm gonna try to get him on Skype later this week and do something. I know he's got that option with his son there, Michael Anthony Fitness, and Michael Anthony Fitness. Michael Anthony Fitness has had 500 subscribers in the last day and a half because of the situation with Mark's page. I've had close to 150. So I know you guys. It's kind of like there was a fire. It's kind of like there was a fire in an office building, and now everyone that worked in that office building has to, relocate to other offices, and you guys are relocating to us. And I want to say thank you guys for the new people that are out there. I support Mark Holmes. I'm doing everything I can to help Mark Holmes, but supposedly his channel is shut down permanently, so we'll see. Um, I hope that's not the case, but that's what I heard from Michael Anthony Fitness, that Mark Holmes is completely devastated. He misses you guys so much. I miss the dude, but he is blown away by all this. So enough with the sad situations. I don't mean that in any kind of negative way that I'm tired of talking about it. What I'm saying is, yeah, it's just crazy. I said this earlier. I've probably been talking 2 hours, guys. I have no clue how I've been on here. An hour, 90 something minutes. But anyways, I want to say this again. YouTube is made for people like us to follow what we want to follow. And we've been following Mark Holmes because he has, to me, his channel is exactly what YouTube is supposed to support. It's exactly what it's supposed to support. So why would they ban his channel when that's what YouTube is for? I don't know. I told Michael Anthony Fitness, I said maybe somebody's from the Cowboys, management, or somebody from the Cowboys, social media, or their marketing, um, complained because maybe they think he's taking money away. And you guys know the Dallas Cowboys want their money coming in. And I can tell you this: the Dallas Cowboys are, as you guys know, they're the number one net worth franchise in the world. Um, by far, they're the number one net worth um, sports team in the world. Now, you have teams out there like Barcelona and Real Madrid that are worldwide famous. The thing is with them, they have no copyrights controls over soccer, because soccer is also played in places like India and Philippines and Thailand. And you can pick up a Ronaldo jersey or a Messi jersey for next to nothing over there because there's no copyright laws. Everything the Dallas Cowboys do is copyrighted. I can tell you right now, because this damn trophy that I got shut down. They shut the company down right after I bought it, and that was in India. The Dallas Cowboys, or not the Dallas Cowboys, excuse me, the NFL shut that office down because it was a copyright infringement to have one of these trophies. It's the exact diameter, it's the exact size, it's 22 pounds, it's 22 inches, it has the exact replica, it has everything on it, and the NFL shut the shop down. So I can't get the trophies that I ordered. I had to get reimbursed the money. But that's the way it is. The Dallas Cowboys especially really control the marketing. Anything that steps on Cowboy marketing is going to be shut down. Anything that steps on NFL marketing is going to be shut down. Now, Real Madrid, the soccer things, They can't do anything about that. I can guarantee you, I've been all over this world. I rarely see a Dallas Cowboy logo on anything, but I see Real Madrid and Barcelona and Arsenal and those teams in England. I see those stickers and jerseys and footballs everywhere. Soccer, excuse me, soccer footballs. I see that stuff everywhere. They don't get a penny for that because it's not copyrighted. But that's the thing that we have to deal with here in America, and YouTube is it's different. So I'm really thinking that's possibly where it came from. They they shut him down because they think his channel is affecting cowboy marketing. Possibly even one penny, they could shut him down if they think in any way his channel is affecting marketing by us listening to Mark Holmes and not listening to the Cowboys round table that they have. That's what I think it actually comes from. I think he had so many fans and so many followers that people are listening to him versus the actual YouTube channels that are run by the Dallas Cowboys. And I'll talk to Mark about that when I get a chance to talk to him. But I can almost assure you that's what it is. It's YouTube money. They think Mark has taken YouTube money, and that's why it's permanent. It has nothing to do with he had some videos or he had something on his channel. The fact is he has so many YouTube followers, those that it's causing the Dallas Cowboy YouTube channels to lose money, and that's what it is. Cowboy trolls are the worst. I kind of like them, man. It puts a little interesting spin on stuff here. I swear Roger Goodell is running to shut down the Cowboy channel. Yeah, it could be, and it could as well be Roger Goodell forcing that down. But I really think, and I'm going to shoot Mark that message. I kind of just thought about that recently. I'm big into marketing. When I got to our company, we had I worked. I'm the executive vice president for a fuel company. When I got there, we were doing a couple $1 million a month, which equated to about 20 million a month is what the sales were. We've expanded, moved into 4 different countries. We're marketing fuel, and out of about 5 or 6 European countries, the Middle East, and we have contracts all over the Middle East and all over Africa, or a few places in Africa, Iraq, Afghanistan, and we do probably about $1.5 billion a year now, is what our company does. And a lot of that was done by our managers. So marketing is something, actually my wife has helped our company a little bit with marketing, but marketing is something companies take serious. And I can almost assure you now, after thinking about it and sitting here talking, his channel got shut down because he has 28,000 viewers. Law's channel got shut down because he has about 30,000 viewers, and that is taking away from the Cowboy channels. And the Cowboy channels get paid by YouTube, just like other YouTube channels do. If you have enough followers, you get paid by YouTube to run your channels, run those commercials, and that money was going to Mark, and it wasn't going to the Dallas Cowboys. And I'll get a message to him tomorrow, but I can almost assure you that that's why his channel was shut down. And what they're going to tell him is, you have copyright issues, and you have things on your channel you're not allowed to put, and they're going to close his channel. They're not going to tell him, we're closing you because you're taking money away from the NFL. We're closing you because you're taking money away from the Dallas Cowboys. You're not allowed to use this logo and this and all these things and make money off the Dallas Cowboys. And as you guys know, he's not making money. I can guarantee you, every penny and more money that he comes in goes out to pay for the things he does. So, anyways, guys, that's where we stand. I can't wait for the game tomorrow. I think Rico Gathers is going to ball out. I think Rico Gathers is going to show up. And I say the same thing, guys. Hey, man, D. Will, you're right. Rico Gathers at the goal line. I said it a couple months ago. Line him up wide. Put him at the X. Line him up inside. But when we go to the into the red zone, take Rico Gathers and line him up wide, put him at the X receiver, and I guarantee you the coach will call a timeout before he lets the play run. He's going to like, whoa, hold on. That 6'8" dude just lined up where Des Bryant usually lined up. You had Des Bryant at 6'3", 6'2". Now you've got a 6'8", 280-pound dude that can jump out the sky and rebound. The dude was a serious rebounder at Baylor, broke almost every rebounding record they have, and they had some really good centers and power forwards come through Baylor, and he broke their records. So the guy can get up, he can get off the ground, he can elevate, and he can go get the ball. That's what you do in basketball. You box out and you go get the ball, and that's why 5 of the top tight ends in the history of the NFL, 5 of the top tight ends in the history of NFL are basketball players. So he's going to be an asset to us. It's Saturday morning, Earl Thomas. Yeah, brother, it sure is. Tell him to get his damn jersey. Hey, he's right down in Austin. He should be in Austin still. I don't know if you guys know. He's been down in Austin hanging out with the University of Texas, which is where he played. He's hanging out with the players there, training every day. His family, I think, is down there on vacation and stuff with him. I've seen pictures with him and his wife and all that stuff together, so I'm assuming they're down there with him. Have you heard anything about Mark? Yeah, you must have just jumped on. We went over that earlier, Manuel, and no problem. I know doing the live stream, guys catch it sometimes in the middle or the end. Apparently, his channel has been terminated. I actually was just talking about that. Apparently, it's been permanently terminated. They say it's for copyright infringements or thing. It's garbage. I think the reason I just was going over this, and I'll repeat it real quick for you, brother, because I want to respect everybody on the channel. But Manuel, I think the reason is because he has enough fans because they terminated him in Law. Law's going through the same thing. I think they terminated him because at the level he's at, he's basically pulling money away from the Dallas Cowboys because they have YouTube channels set up by the Dallas Cowboys marketing teams, and their marketing teams are not getting the views that Mark is getting. So if their marketing teams are not getting the views that Mark is getting, they're going to remove his YouTube channel because it's causing the Dallas Cowboys to lose money. He's not taking money away from them. What he's doing is his channel is making the other Dallas Cowboys marketing channels not make money. So I think that's the situation because the answer he got was it's something to do with copyrights or some other bullshit stuff. So it's just, the thing is, they're not going to allow him to get enough followers and subscribers and all of that to where he's taking money away from the Dallas Cowboys, and that's where that stands. That's what my personal opinion I think it is, because he's done nothing wrong. I've been watching the guy for only a year, but he doesn't do anything crazy. He doesn't do near the things I do. I do a lot more crazy things than he does as far as showing footage and other things, as well as Okoye. Okoye does a lot of videos and footage and NFL footage and all those things, but he has 8,000 followers, but he actually has more views a lot of times than Mark does. So, Thomas Garrett, oops, my fault, bro. It's after midnight. Yeah, it is. D Wills, what is this thing? Johnny the Strong Arm, Johnny the Strong Arm. What's up, Cowboy buddies? South Texas in the house. I enjoy your show. I want to send you a shout out to Mark and Michael and my boy little man Jobu. Yeah, what's up, guys? Yeah, everyone is praying for free Jobu and free Mark. We're hoping that happens, but from what he was told, his channel shut down, and he was told, or I got this from Michael Anthony Fitness. Michael Anthony Fitness said the channel is permanently shut down. So he does have different social media he's working on. He may open a second channel on YouTube and maybe name it something different. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Earl Thomas signing is I think it would help us if we can solve this problem on the offensive line right now. If we can get backups in there to cover for Travis Frederick, and sign Earl Thomas, then we've got a really good chance. Looking forward to watching Tyree Robinson, um, Chris Kellens. I've heard good things about him. I've actually seen, if you look at the stat block on here, real quick, let me go over the stats for Tyree Robinson. I was going to go through this real quick, but we got sidetracked on some stuff. Defensive stat: Tyree Robinson has a combined total of 6 defensive plays combined. Well, he has one that he helped on, and he has 5 solo defensive plays that he made. That's the way they're ranking it on this page, and he has 1 assist. So as far as tackles, and they kind of grouped it together as tackles or defensive block of the ball. So he's second on our list behind Anthony Brown. And the only reason Anthony Brown has so many is that dude's played a crap load of snaps. And I think Anthony Brown he's probably been beat on six plays as well. And he's probably the only player that's been beat more than twice that I remember. But Anthony Brown has been getting beat like, bro. He's been getting beat a lot this preseason. I hope it's not just because it visually looks that way because he's been on the field so much. But I can tell you this: Anthony Brown has at least 3 pass interferences that I can recall. Let's see, Michael Gallup, another. Michael Irving. I think Michael Gallup will be our leading receiver this year. Him or Tavon Austin, I think have the ability to put some numbers up. I just don't think Tavon. Well, I forgot about Beasley. Didn't forget about him, but I think it'll be Gallup or Beasley. I just don't think Beasley will get as many catches because Tavon Austin is there, and I think those guys will split it up a little bit. I think those guys will be on the field together some, but not all the time. So we'll see. Honestly, I like Gallup a lot. Hope he can. Yeah, right now Gallup is the number one. This is what I was going to go over real quick earlier, since we do have 18 people still here. Let me go over these stats that I was looking at. And these stats come off of the Dallas Cowboy website, and these are the stats for the complete preseason so far. Over quarterback, real quick, I'll go over the total first downs. Total first downs, the Cowboys for the whole season so far, the 2 games. The Cowboys have given up 38 first downs. Or excuse me, we've achieved 38 first downs. Our opponents have gotten 42. So we have 4 less first downs than the other teams. Not a big deal. Let's see. Let me go down to the next important. Let's see. Total rushing yards. We've rushed for 194 yards. Our opponents have rushed for 152, which is about an average of 75 yards a game we're giving up. As you guys know, we're going to get our rushing yards. We are going to get our rushing yards. Our problem is we can't give up rushing yards, which means we need Sean Lee, LVE, and I think Jalen Smith is going to help us, even though if Sean Lee does have some injuries, I think at linebacker we're going to be tougher. As you guys know, last year with Sean Lee, we gave up I think it was around 86 yards a game rushing. Without Sean Lee, the 6 games he was gone, we gave up 186 yards rushing. Almost 100 yards more rushing without Sean Lee. We can't do that. And that's why our number 1 pick in the draft was a linebacker. We needed depth, and we needed strong depth at linebacker. And we not only got strong depth with LVE, we've also got Jalen Smith coming back, much stronger, a completely different player. Jalen Smith at 80% like he was last year versus 95 to 100% like he is now. That's really a different player. That would be like, Kyle Wilbur, which we had before, and Sean Lee. Sean Lee at 80% is about as good as Wilbur, but at 100%, Sean Lee's a completely different player. He's off the chart. So that's where we stand on that. We've only given up 75 yards a play, and as you guys know, Sean Lee hasn't played very much, or 75 yards a game. I apologize. Rushing plays average. We're giving up 3.7 yards per carry, and our opponent is giving up 3 yards rushing. Oh, I'm sorry. We're averaging 3.7 yards rushing, and our opponents are averaging 3. I think our run defense is going to be outstanding this year, guys. I really think it is. I think our front four is much better, and I think our linebacking crew is much better. I think we're going to get to the ball quicker. We're going to cause a lot more sacks, and I think those sacks are going to cause a lot more fumbles, and I think those sacks are also going to cause the quarterbacks to throw the ball much quicker than they have in the recent years. And those quicker passes, the quarterbacks having to get rid of the ball, that's going to cause interceptions. So I think that front four is going to cause like a wave of good defense behind them. And hopefully, if we can get this secondary nailed down, I think we're solid on defense. I think our concern is offense, and that's really crazy that we're concerned about our defense and not our offense. Let me go over to the chat box real quick. I saw a bunch of stuff come in. Couldn't even use a different name in the email. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming he's gonna do. He'll jump over on a different email. I told him if he wanted, I would send him my login and password. He could log in as Cowboy Crunk, use my password. I'd let him use my channel to run his show, and as long as I could log in and watch the videos from somewhere else, I would give him my channel. That's how much I want to see the guy back. So. Jalen Smith reminds me of Ray Lewis. Yeah, that's our Ray Lewis, brother. He's coming. He's going to get bigger, stronger, and faster. Also, uh, they say Randy Gregory is much bigger and stronger than he was as a rookie, and he was last year. They say he's put on some massive weight in the shoulders and arms, and that makes him top heavy, which is going to help him a lot. Herb Jalen Smith took a lot of bad angles and pursuing. Yeah, and he supposedly fixed that. Those bad angles were partially because of him being 80% about last year, and he's definitely looks faster this year, and yeah, that will help him. We should be good. Um, Hey, appreciate it, Matt. Appreciate the comment, bro. I'm just keeping the channel rolling. I'm trying to have a good time. Before I head back to Afghanistan on the 2nd of September, I'll be here through to the Texans game, which we're going to really. I'm not interested if. I don't care that we're 0-2 in the preseason. What I want to see is I want to see certain players that we need step up and play well. Whatever happens around them, fumbles, and as long as it's not Zeke fumbling the ball and Dak throwing interceptions and the guys that are supposed to play good, as long as they play good, I'm happy. And they have. Our starters have played great. Our problem is we're not deep. We're not really deep, but we're not playing a lot. We have a lot of guys we know are starting that aren't playing much. So the teams we've played so far, they kept their first teams, second teams, and even third teams. As you guys got to realize, with 90 players, we're 4 deep at some positions, or 8 deep. We're only going to keep 4. So we're playing a lot of those 5th and 6th position guys, 7th position guys, and some teams are not doing that. Some of them guys are still figuring out who their starters are. We have a lot of our starters solidified, but we're just hurting in a couple positions, and they have to fix that, or we're going to have a little bit of trouble this year. So appreciate the comment, Matt. Chris Richards, stay pumped up like Jimmy Johnson. Yes, sir. I hope that's what we need. We need a Jimmy Johnson guy in there. We don't need a Barry Switzer. Troy Aikman had a big problem with that his last, few years. He was completely disappointed in Barry Switzer because he let the team fall apart. And what Barry Switzer did was walk around congratulating guys and being okay when somebody did something wrong and not correcting them, not pulling them to the side and saying, "Look, you're a professional football player. You can't do that continuously. You can't let that happen." And Troy Aikman was that's why he retired early. He was completely pissed that the Cowboys fell apart when they had an opportunity to stay together, and some of that was on Jerry Jones. And that's why he's got to turn the reins over to Stephen Smith and let this thing roll the way it should be rolling. I didn't hear anything about Bo getting hurt. I know he has a really, really low. Bo has a very low um, yards per carry, or yards per attempt. He's actually lower than anyone else on our roster right now. I'm going to go back over to the stats since I hit a couple of you guys up real quick. Let's see. Okay, moving on to the stats. Time of possession. We're slightly ahead on time of possession, but part of that is because right now we're throwing the ball about 40 times a game. Um, we threw it 39 times the first game, 40 the second, I think, something like that. But anyways, we're throwing the ball that many times right now because we're trying to get these receivers hashed out. We've got receivers right now. Basically, it was like a 100-yard dash at the Olympics. When we started our receiving core this year, line these 10 guys up and take off running and see who wins because that's who we're going to keep. I mean, not by just speed wise. I'm using that as a metaphor or a way to tell a story. But we line the guys up, and whoever finishes the race and looks the best, that's who we're going to keep. Now you guys know we're going to keep Beasley and Terrence Williams and Gallup because he was drafted, and pretty much Tavon Austin. Those are the guys, pretty much the only guys that were a lock. And Tavon Austin wasn't even a lock really if he came in and just didn't perform at all or got had an injury. Those guys are pretty much locked. So you got about 2 to 3 more positions that you can fill on the receiving core. So they really got to work that out. And because Austin is new, Tavon Austin and Gallup are new, the only two really that have a good working rapport with Dak, or excuse me, with Zeke, with Dak, is Beasley and Terrence Williams. And the only reason Terrence Williams didn't get cut is because the way his contract is set up. If they cut Terrence Williams, they lose $2 million. If they cut him, I mean, they lose $2 million more. They move. I think they lose his $4 million plus an additional $2 million. And that was the way his contract was set up. He was set up long term to stay. You can't get rid of this guy. Most contracts aren't written that way, but that's the way they did T. Will, and he did that for security because he probably knew he wasn't worth a damn. I don't think the guys. I don't care for him too much as a player. But anyways, those are two guys that have working rapport with Dak. So that's why we don't see him too much on the field, but we do see him quite a bit as showing their veteran skills. Beasley hasn't been on much because he's been injured. So we have a couple positions at wide receiver we need to fill, and let me go over those real quick. Wide receivers. The first game, we had 16 different players get receptions. 16 different players had receptions. Out of the 39 pass attempts, I think it was 39 pass attempts. I think we had 26 receptions, and that would be on here if I looked, but it was in that ballpark. It was like 26 of 39 for the three quarterbacks that we played, which is pretty good. All three of the quarterbacks have done fairly well. We haven't not thrown an interception this year. Cooper Rush has not thrown one in 2 years. He hasn't got a lot of playing time, but he does have 7 touchdowns and no interceptions. And I don't think any other backup quarterback, probably, or any other starting quarterback has that kind of type of stats in the preseason. You're just not going to find a backup quarterback has 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. He had 2 300-yard games last year when he played those 2 preseason games, pretty much for Zeke or for Dak, so I think we're set at backup quarterback. Mike White hasn't played too well, and I don't think we're going to be able to hold him, especially with the situation with the offensive linemen. We need offensive linemen. We need backup offensive linemen. We need safeties. We're gonna go deep at defensive tackle because we don't know exactly where all those guys fall, and also we have 4 tight ends that they probably want to keep because the one that's going to get cut is Dalton Schultz. It looks like if they cut one, they're not going to cut Swain. They're not going to cut Jarwin because they traded for him and they really like Jarwin. And Schultz, they just drafted him. So that leaves Rico Gathers, and they're not going to cut Rico. So there's going to be players they gotta cut. I think Mike White is completely gone. I think he's out of the picture. and they're going to put him on the practice squad, or try to trade him, or they're going to try to trade one of our tight ends. That's where I see it going. They've got to do that if they're going to keep some of these players for special teams. And if they're going to try to keep, bring in another safety, or the safeties they picked up this week, they'll probably play them a little bit today, but they won't see the field, and they may try to put them on the practice squad, or something. But we've only got 7 spots there too. So you guys got to realize we got 53 spots, and we got 7 practice squad spots, and we're not going to be able to keep all these guys. Even the ones they're signing this week, we probably won't keep hardly any of them. Real quick, guys, I just had a new subscribers. Please subscribe to the channel if you're here looking for Mark Holmes. We're all waiting on him to come through. I'm going to try to do some videos with him on Skype this week or next week, or whenever he's available. He's completely upset about his page, and it looks like it's permanently shut down, is what he's being told. Or Michael Anthony told me that. So we'll see. But Rico Gathers is going to make a team. He's a lock. We don't need to worry about that. He's made too many plays. He had a situation where he liked a comment on an Instagram page a while back, and that's why he's been in the doghouse, I think, is he liked an Instagram page on Fire Jason Garrett. Again, the Instagram page is Fire Jason Garrett, and supposedly he liked the page on there. Yeah, he can make a new channel. I'm sure that's what he's going to end up doing. So he'll be back shortly. We'll just all have to jump over to his page, and then we'll follow from there. So, anyways, let me check through here. I think Jones looks great. Anything else? I think Jones and Chevedo, they both. Yeah, those guys are looking good. Richard says he's not moving them. And like I said earlier, the safeties that have been out there on the market, the Cowboys haven't looked at them for some reason. And I think it's because they're just going to wait till the last minute. They're going to wait till the price is down on Earl Thomas. And right before the first game, I think they're going to give them what they want, which is a second-round pick. They offered them that in the draft. Seattle didn't take it, but I think at this point they're ready to take it. Seattle management has said, let's let him go. Let's get him out of here. Let's release him. But they haven't got the trade value that they wanted, and the Cowboys haven't called. And once that happens, we'll have Earl Thomas, and I think we'll have him by week 1. So we'll see. I hope. Actually, I have not seen a reason to make the trade up until this point. The last 2 weeks, I think he needs at least 1 game to get him settled in and ready. But I really think Earl Thomas could walk on the field at any time and play for the Cowboys, because the scheme should be relatively similar to what he's done before. So let's see, another team in the snatch, Rico, if we let him go. Yeah, we're not going to let Rico go. There's no way. They're just upset with him. I think they've had him in the doghouse. They're trying to scare him, trying to intimidate him a little bit because of some of the things he's done that didn't really look Cowboy friendly, So that's all it is. It's a bluff. Seattle's calling his bluff as well. The Cowboys are calling Rico's bluff. They're like, look, dude, we're gonna let you go. You're our 4th tight end. You can't do this. You can't block. You can't. Dude, not every tight end in the league can block. There's a lot of tight ends out there that aren't capable of picking up and understanding the offensive scheme every time, or miss a blocking assignment. Now, missing a blocking assignment is not putting a guy in front of you and say, block that guy, and he can't block him. It's reading the defense and adjusting your route and those things. So, no, you're right, man. Dak has some work to do. The team made Dak look really good in 2016. The team, Dak played well. He played great, but the team was great. I think we might have even been better with Tony Romo back there at that point. But what happened in 2016 is Dak was handed the ball. They said, look, Tony Romo's down. You're a rookie quarterback, Your veteran quarterback is down. You're a rookie. Take care of the ball. Do what we tell you to do. Don't change any plays. Don't audible to nothing. And if it ain't there, take your check down. If the check down ain't there, throw it away. And he had an amazing season. Um, he had a Troy Aikman type season. He didn't have a Tony Romo type season. Tony Romo put up numbers. Tony Romo put up numbers and he put up touchdowns, but he had some interceptions. He had more interceptions. Uh, but if you look at the ratio, it, you know, Tony Romo had percentage wise a little bit higher percentage interceptions to touchdowns, but he put up some damn numbers, bro. Tony Romo was a number machine. Um, and he was known for that. But he had no line, he had no running game. He had to do it. So we went with a different type. Kirk Cousins looks weird in a Vikings uniform. Yeah, that's funny, man. What's up, Matt? How you doing, brother? Thomas. Plus, the NFL didn't have film on Dak at the time. Yeah, the film hurt him a little bit, and part of that was our generic vanilla offense, and I think that that hurt us as well. I think our offense, we've got to change some things up. As you guys know, last year we didn't use Ryan Switzer the way we used Lucky Whitehead, and those jet sweeps with the Cowboy runs really open up the running game. And us having Zeke gone for 6 weeks, those first 3 games Zeke was gone. If anyone can tell me how many points we scored the first 3 weeks Zeke was gone, game by game. If anyone knows it and wants to post it real quick, I know off the top of my head because I looked at it. I'm not trying to be no genius. I definitely ain't a genius. I do pretty good with numbers, but I'm telling you, I don't know if anybody has it. I'm going to go ahead and say it real quick. But the first game Zeke was gone, we scored 6 points. The second game Zeke was gone, we scored 9 points. The third game Zeke was gone, we scored 7 points. So I think, is that right? Yeah. Or was it? Yeah. I think that's right. It was something like that. Like I said, I'm good with numbers, but I ain't no damn genius. But we scored, the first game Zeke was gone, we scored 6. The next game 9. The next game 7. That's crazy, man. And without Zeke, we fell apart those first 3 games. Now we won one of those, uh, if I recall. Now I'm not remembering. I think. Uh, I'm not recalling, but anyways, I think it was the next game is the one where we scored 17 and one or something. We still didn't score a lot of points. And then the Seattle game, of course, towards the end of the season, where we held Seattle to under 200 yards. We held Seattle. We really did well the last 4 games of the season. No one had more than 225 yards passing on us the last 4 games. Seattle didn't even have 200 yards the whole game, and they beat us that game. We went 4-1 the last 5 games, and when we changed our secondary to what we're running now, you know, the the the, the rookie guys, the young guys we had, when we changed that secondary, we actually won four games and only lost one. And Ezekiel Elliott was there only starting after the Seattle game. So as you guys know, man, our secondary was on fire towards the end of the season, and I hope they're capable of doing it this year. Um, Anyways, guys, I think you guys have heard me run my mouth long enough. I'm gonna jump off. Seattle had more penalty yards than offensive yards. Yes, they did. TG, man, bro. I'm gonna call you Target. Thomas Garrett, the Target, bro. You guys, you're spot on. That's 100% bullseye. Seattle played horrible and beat us because, and not to jump on Dak, because any interception he throws, you can't blame him because he doesn't throw that many. He's gonna make mistakes. That interception he threw, and they took it back for a touchdown. He threw the ball over. He tried to go to his check down and throw the ball out in the flats to Zach, Ezekiel Elliott. Excuse me, Ezekiel Elliott. I'm tired of talking, bro. But he threw the ball in the check down to Ezekiel Elliott, and it went over his head. They ran that back. Also, if you guys remember, Des Bryant had a fumble in that game that they ended up scoring on. Also, Des Bryant had a incomplete pass that went off his hands that they had an interception. So Des played horrible. Dak didn't play very well. Zeke didn't play. Zeke had an okay game, but Seattle played horrible. Our defense chewed them up, and we lost our season because the offense couldn't get rolling, and because Ezekiel Elliott hadn't been in there, and he didn't have rhythm, and he didn't have that. That's really important with running backs in the offensive line. Yeah, we never recovered after that interception, and that was the end of our season. Even if we finished at 10-6, we still needed help. So even at 10-6, if we would have won that game, that didn't mean we were going to get in the playoffs. I don't recall exactly what happened with the other teams, but we were waiting on someone to lose, and I think we needed Philly to beat another NFC team, and they didn't, or what they so whatever it was, I think it was Philly. We needed Philly to win that last game because they were 13 and 13 and they were 13-2, and we needed them to win that last game, and they lost. They went 13-3, and that's what happened. So Atlanta, yeah, brother, that's what it was. Man, Target, Thomas Garrett, the target is on, bro. Straight out of Nashville, Tennessee. Thank you, brother. Hey, good show, guys. I really appreciate you guys being on here. I hope the channel don't get too big where I can't correspond with you guys and it goes too fast. Thanks, Herb from Knoxville. Thanks, Thomas Garrett from Nashville. If you guys don't know them now, the draft after the season, that's a long ways away, but you guys will see them on my channel because I will be there live at the draft, and I will be with Joe Boo. We've already confirmed that, unless something crazy happens and they move the draft or whatever, but we'll be there. Cowboys record, I hope. I'm looking at 13, somewhere between 13-3 and 11-5. If we can keep the injuries down, I think we should be in that ballpark. And if we sign Earl Thomas, which I think is going to happen, and if they keep Rico Gathers is a lock. I think we're talking about that a lot because the coaching staff hadn't given him a chance. But hey, great show, guys. I appreciate you guys being there. It's 1 a.m. here in Texas. I know it's 1 a.m. There as well in Tennessee. If you're out running around, stop in Kenton, Tennessee, and stop at the hill. There's probably like 3 dudes on the top of this hill drinking a beer. My dad is there with them. My dad's out at the hill right now. That bar is smaller than my office, bro, but it's a cool place to hang out there in Kenton, Tennessee. Population 311 people or something. But hey, appreciate you guys. Follow Joe Boo. One more time, I'm going to put the hashtag up, even though his channel is shut down and I don't think it's coming back. Hashtag YouTube. Free Joe Boo. There we go, guys. Peace out. 2 a.m. in Knoxville. Oh, it's 2 a.m. Sorry, brother. Man, it's late. Knoxville is 2 a.m. Kenton, I think the line is right up in there. But good night, guys. Take care. Enjoy the show. I'm going to get up and shut off my. Peace out, guys.